Hello everyone, very good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar from Delphi Star Training Center. So today we will have a masterclass on the logistics and supply chain management as a career. So as we all know that supply chain is right now a global topic and a hot career option across the globe. I would request all the participants please to keep their microphone off and only raise their hands if they have any queries during the session. At the end of the session, we will be having a question answer session, so you can put on your mic, you can write the questions on the chat box, or you can raise your hand to put up a question to the panelists. Before we proceed, I would just do a cross check. Yes, the panelist has joined, the participants has joined, and we are good to go. Okay. So today, as a speaker, as a trainer, we have Mr. Anirban Mandal with us. He is a global supply chain expert. He has done his master's in supply chain management, and he has started his career with exporting of tea, a perishable commodity across the globe. So this was his start of the career where he was responsible to deliver a perishable commodity, that is tea, throughout the globe, majorly on the European countries, which we know is a bit of difficult, and they have many compliances which has to be followed. Followed by that, he has worked with Amazon, and before he came to us, we started training and he started delivering the training to for the participants. He has been working with the Cisco to handle their global supply chain network, delivering Cisco networking equipments throughout the globe. So over to Anirban. Please take over and give us some guidance on the supply chain as a career option.
Okay. Thank you, Pankaj. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anirban Manjal here. I'll be your speaker for the day. So, the topic is logistics and supply chain management career. The masterclass is on this topic. As we all know today, the supply chain management and the logistics management is upon a rise, mostly since the COVID times, because this COVID time has showed us that what can be a major disruption in a supply chain and how it can affect the entire world, the entire business, the entire industry. So the topics we will be discussing today are the introduction to supply chain and logistics as a career path, the concepts of supply chain and logistics, actually what is it, what it does it do, the skills and qualifications that you require, reasons why you should consider a career in the supply chain management, the future of the supply chain management and logistics network, training and education for the supply chain and logistics careers, career advancements, your future prospects, and your networking opportunities through this, and the conclusion that why this supply chain management and logistics is a great career path as of today. So, to start with the introduction, that supply chain and logistics is a career path, the where I started this conversation, because be it anything, any product or any service that we use today, starting from our daily commodities to even the milk that comes to your house, the newspaper, ending up to hi-fi machineries, mobile phones, everything is based on entirely the backbone runs on the supply chain. Everything has its own style of supply chain, own design of supply chain. Without the proper functioning of which, after you get up in the morning, you will not get your newspaper if the supply chain is not right. If you buy something online, or if you go to a store to buy a mobile phone, you will not get your mobile phone available no matter how much money you have. So it is essential that the supply chain is absolutely intact and working properly. So now the question might come up, that what is this supply chain that we are talking of? What is this term supply chain? What does it mean? Supply chain is basically the entire process that even starts before the creation of the product, even before the product is made, from how you will make the product, from where you will take every raw material, from how you will design it, who will manufacture it, who will distribute it, who will carry and give it to the shopkeeper or carry it to your house. This entire network is called supply chain. It starts before the development of your product and ends when the product is delivered to the customer. In an extensive way, after it gets delivered to the customer, you are supposed to give some after sales service or some repair works, some maintenance works. That is also included in this supply chain. This is on a very small description that I gave you right now. So the supply chain and logistics. So just the way I was saying, chain and logistics is crucial to the success of any business as it ensures that the products are delivered to the customers on time and at the right cost. Here, just pay importance to this part at the right cost. So what can happen is that if we have a disruption in anything or there is anything wrong at our end, we can always try and go for improved services to make up for that lost time. But that often costs us more. If it at the manufacturing end or at the management end, if your cost is getting increased, then it will be reflecting to the customer also, and you will thus lose a competitive advantage. So it is not only manufacturing and delivering goods at the right place at the right time, but also within the right cost frame. This is also a very vital aspect of the supply chain. So the rise of supply chains and logistics personnel since COVID-19. So here we'll start that according to a LinkedIn data, the US demand for supply chain managers was 54% higher in early 2023 than as compared to the same time in 2019. See, for years, supply chain and supply chain personnel have been there in all the industries, but we have not paid that much attention because it did not create any impact in our lives. In our lives, as in from the customer's point of view, and also from the manufacturer's point of view. From the manufacturer's point of view, yes, they do definitely know that uh, what is the importance of the supply chain personnel, but the negative impact was not shown till then. If you do not have a negative challenge on a particular subject, you will not know its importance. This importance was shown to the entire world during the COVID time. So during when the COVID crisis struck us, we all know we had been running away, trying to get us safe from the disease. Many of us lost our jobs. Many countries, almost the entire globe, was facing a lockdown where you will not have any movement of people or goods except of emergency services. Even that was also challenging because in a situation where you do not have anything or any resource to move, you will also have to move the emergency services like medicines and essential supplies like rice, flour, and all this. So how do you move that? The driver has to wear a PPE kit, follow the COVID protocols, go through different barriers, come up through a different series of paperworks. So all these aspects showed how really important the supply chain managers are or the logistics personnel are. Because we were sitting at our homes, we were watching the news. But how will we eat the food? How will we get our medicines on time? So all this has to reach to you, me, and everyone in the world globally, right? Then only we can safeguard ourselves from this disease. Then only we can go further ahead. So there were at that point of time there was an acute shortage. There was a panic buying scenario. If you remember, uh, most of us were started we started using sanitizers and disinfectant sprays on a higher number. Okay, so the sanitizers, it is not that the sanitizers were not available before the COVID times. It was available, but we hardly used to use them. A very small percentage used to use them regularly. So suppose the sanitizer industry was based around that consumption. But when this COVID hit, recently, within a night, the sanitizer was in demand to each and everyone in the globe. And not only one bottle or two, people were buying 10 bottles at once, fearing that they might not be available in the market in the future times. Then, what is the supply chain effect showing us here? That within a night or two, not only the manufacturers they have to scale up their production, the demand for this product has increased many times. So you have to gather your raw materials, you have to speed up your production process, give it to the market. The logistics people, while the globe was facing a lockdown, they had to uh, improvise on their techniques and devise ways then how they can carry these materials from the manufacturers to you at a better rate, that where there is no scope of any lag behinds. Okay, so this particular incidents gave us the norm that, listen, no matter how much money I have, I cannot buy these products because they are not available in the market. So how will I get the product? Say a product worth $1, I am ready to pay $10 for it, but the product is not only there in the market. It has to be manufactured. It has to come to the market. Then only now I can say that okay, instead of one, I'm giving you $10. Give it back to me. So this shows the importance, and this shows that the entire global supply chain backbone is very much essential for the proper functioning of any company. And I will say you that only these product-based industries are not reliant on a resilient supply chain. Also, the service industries. So, just a common thing for everyone. Every one of us, we use electricity in our homes, in our offices. That also has its own supply chain network. How is the electricity produced? They require coal, they require different materials, they require wires, they require trained service engineers. From there they set up their network, they produce the electricity, then the electricity comes to us, which is powering our homes, which is enabling me to connect to you over this webinar. So everyone has a different supply chain, and for our industry to thrive on, the supply chain has to be absolutely of the crucial importance. There is no ifs and buts behind it. So career opportunities in a supply chain and logistics industry. What are the different positions you can have after you get into this field? It's a supply chain analyst, logistics coordinator, operations manager, export manager, warehouse manager, quality analyst, quality managers, procurement executives. So these are the various designations. There are more. For just an example purpose, I have put only these designations. And there is also a data of the average salary in US markets, and the different job titles, like starting from 230 to 250,000 USDs annually for the chief supply chain management officer, till at least 70, 80, or 85,000 USD per year for a procurement manager. The range is, this is just for an illustrative purpose. This of course depends with the industry you're working on, their pay scale. Okay, but this is just an average data demonstration. So in this slide you can see the growth way and the attractiveness of the different positions in a supply chain salary and a logistics salary. So if you can see, the warehouse picker is starting somewhere roughly around 40, 45, 47K. Okay, and he's climbing up to the warehouse director level at around 100K annually. And this growth that happens in, it does not happen in a 1 year or 2 year. Obviously with knowledge you need some experience also. So this warehouse speaker, say if you see, is climbing up to the warehouse director in a span of 10 years. In this 10 years his salary is almost getting multiplied 2.5 3 times. Same as the supply chain industry, starting from the supply chain coordinator, when he's moving to the supply chain director, he's almost getting 3 times more the salary. So this is mainly showing you that it does not only have a wide network, but it also has a very lucrative salary and a steady growth of your career in this perspective. So the reasons to consider a career in supply chain management, they're global opportunities. Global opportunities because each and every company throughout the globe is now focusing on a very solid supply chain. So it is not just that you will be restricted to only one country or market, but the global market is open for you. Continuous learning, different techniques and improvisations are coming up. And see, in this supply chain and logistics field, you do not have any problem that comes just out of the textbook. Every day you have a new challenge, and you have to think of new ways to sort out that challenge. The textbooks and the theories can help you, that what you should do, in which way you should do, what are the calculations you should account for, but the challenges can come up any day, every day. Okay, lucrative salaries. Of course, the supply chain and logistics market does offer lucrative salaries and a good career growth, because right now in this market, post this COVID time, we are focusing on having the best supply chain managers and the best logistics personnel to our side, so that there are no disruptions in our production and delivering of the goods and services. And this job stability, there is job stability because this is a process that cannot be done without. You cannot have any process without that is not having its supply chain. You cannot have a process that is not having its own logistics network. So of course this is one of the core elements. Therefore, if you are into a core element, then the job stability is of course there. So right now we are having this trend that AI is trying to replicate human jobs. Many people will lose their salary. Okay, I understand that AI is having its own functions, own powerfulness and features, but AI cannot ever replace a supply chain manager or a logistics manager. The future of supply chain management. Okay, so what are the future of supply chain management because of the advancement of new technologies and the new ways of working? That is digitalization and automation. Okay, digitalization and automation, in a very short way, I'll say you that with the advancement of new technologies, you are putting up to your experience, your knowledge in these new technologies, and you are thriving your organization towards a better management scenario. Okay, sustainability and green initiatives. We all know that in today's world, where we are having a lot of chemical waste, electronic waste, pollution, every company is striving for sustainability and green initiative. The supply chain resilience, of course, how a supply chain can be resilient, it can be adaptive, it can be robust, that you have to see. E-commerce and last mile delivery. E-commerce and last mile delivery, because see, our world is now shifting towards a very online ordering module where you sit back, order at home or order at office, you pay through your digital payment networks, that is your credit card, debit card or UPIs, and you get your products delivered at home. Traditionally what used to happen, that we used to go to the local shops or the shopping malls, we used to see the product, take it in our hand, and then we used to buy. Now the world has shifted to more of a digital form of buying. So this delivery part is of utmost importance. So the options that you have for your supply chain and logistics career. So there are three courses that is offered by Epix. That one is the CSCP or the Certified Supply Chain Professional. One is CPIM, Certified in Production and Inventory Management. One then the last is CLTD, Certified in Logistics, Transportation and Distribution. Now, if you ask me, what are the different aspects of it? CSCP is the broader aspect. It is the main umbrella where you are being taught about the entire supply chain management network, its design, its optimization. So everything comes under CSCP in a very broad way. But now, if you're only focused in the logistics and the distribution area, where you are in more details, you are focusing on your warehouse management, your transportation, different modes of transportation like seaways, waterways, hybrid transportation. So it focuses more into the logistics sector. CPIM, production and inventory management. If you're from this procurement, production background or the manufacturing background, and you want to solely focus there, then CPIM is the course for you. Okay, it will teach you about product forecasting, the scheduling, different material requirement, planning, all these things. The skills needed for supply chain and logistics. See, there are certain skills that are needed for any course, and this is nothing exceptional out here. It is a very basic skills, the basic skill set that you need to have if you want to do any kind of job throughout the world. So technical skills, the knowledge about the business or the industry you're working on, communication skills, problem solving skills, leadership skills, project management, time management, negotiation skills, and data analytics. Okay, here, apart from data analytics and technical skills, the rest of the skills are very common for any sector. Okay, now technical skills. Why this technical skill is here? Because since we have moved out from a industry from manual to automation, now we do not use pen and paper registers. We use computers and mobiles and softwares. So that is why technical skill or a minimum technical know-how is required. Data analytics. So data analytics is nothing fancy. When we hear of the term data analytics, analysis of data, we often think, okay, what is it? What is it? It is nothing fancy. It is a data driven object. Say today I have 10, tomorrow there can be 15, the day after tomorrow there can be 20. So I should be ready for 20 within 48 hours. This is driven by data. It is not that I wake up in the morning and I say, okay, today it is 25, tomorrow it is 45. This I am doing just out of prediction. Here the prediction is driven on data. The data shows you where to go and where not to go. That is basically data analytics in a very small way. So the conclusion why supply chain and logistics is a great career path. This is the entire point that we were discussing in all this presentation, that it is a rising industry, it is a booming industry where people are more focusing, every employer is more focusing for a resilient supply chain, a strong logistics sector where it will have its functionalities running at 100% efficiency all throughout the year. No matter whatever problems comes, it is ready to take on to that challenge. So for that reason, the demand for the supply chain and logistics personnel has grown many folds in the last few years, especially post the COVID era. Okay, and that is why it is like a great career path in accordance, because it's a very specific sector that uh, once you attain this knowledge of supply chain and logistics, you are not just specified to one particular sector. Specifically this logistics or the supply chain part, you can apply it to any stream, any field. Any stream or field here is not the educational field I'm talking about, but the sector of the different markets that we have. The way I was discussing, be it a newspaper, be it a milk delivery, be it a mobile phone, be it a hi-fi machinery, everyone uses its own supply chain. Everyone has a different form of logistics. Okay, so this is a very like I'll say this career, this aspect is very much on the rise, and it is the perfect time for us, for everyone to encapsulate on this, because this is going to this is not only limited to just a degree or just a knowledge for 1 or 2 years. It keeps on growing, it keeps on growing till you reach a director level. Also on that, after that, you can have many other, you can derive your own supply chain or own logistical ways and methods and methodologies. So it also has a great career aspect also. Okay, so this is it from my side for today. If you have any questions, you can please feel free to ask.
Thank you, anyone, sir, for such good insights. That was really good. Okay, sir. Yes, I do agree about this that there is a growing need of logistics and supply chains dedicated professionals across the globe. Because what we can see is just let's if I go back 10 years down the line, then there was no possibility of getting a delivery next day. But today we are getting a delivery next day. I'm ordering something today, and next day in the morning, the courier boy is coming to my door and delivering the goods to me. So that shows the need of professionals who are handling this network through which it can be delivered through months, thousands of kilometers far away. The goods are delivered, and the best part is if any of us are in India, participants are from India, they would relate with this. There is a concept called Zomato Legends, wherein I can order food from like Hyderabad. I'm sitting in Calcutta, I'm ordering food from Hyderabad, I'm ordering food from Delhi, and that is getting delivered to me next day fresh. So that's again, I think, is a very good aspect of supply chain which we should consider. And this can be only done by professionals who are experts in handling the supply chain network. Without that, I don't think this is possible. So,
Yes.
sir, I will take up a few questions before we wrap up the session. Okay. So, first, I will take up a few questions which has been emailed to me by the participants. And among that, the one which I would also like to know personally is what is the difference between supply chain and logistics? Because these two terminologies go hand in hand, but what is the difference between them?
Okay, so since nice question, and your the insights that you gave for the same day delivery and this Zomato legends were very nice. I like this would I if there is a further session I would describe on them personally. So for this term, supply chain and logistics, like I was saying, logistics supply chain is the bigger umbrella. It starts before the end of your product till it gets delivered to the customer, and all processes included within it. Logistics, the term logistics in the military way, the term logistics means movement. That is basically the transportation of your goods or the storage of your goods. So this you can like from the outside you can think this is just an aspect. This is a very big and a very complex aspect, because we now use the exact thing that you example that you just gave, that 10 years back there was no scope that we will get the products delivered within 1 day. So this is only been possible because of a very strong and resilient logistics chain. Logistics is the department which ensures that the goods are delivered at the right condition at the right time within the right cost. This the logistic part is more dealt with the movement of the goods, the storage of the goods, and supply chain is the bigger aspect, the bigger umbrella or the entire knowledge of the entire processes that is related to a product or a service development, its entire life cycle. So logistics is a part of supply chain, you can say.
That's great to know, sir. That's great to know. Okay, one more question which I would have, and this is, I don't know if it is a lame one, but this is what I got is to become a supply chain professional or to do any of the supply chain certifications, is mathematics and computers are very important skills to learn. Like if I'm not an expert in maths or if I'm not an expert in computers, can I still do the supply chain certification?
Yes, of course. You need not be an expert at mathematics and computers. You just have to have the basic knowledge and the basic understanding. You need to learn fast within the job. See, yes, uh, ages 10 years or 20 years back, we used to use pen and paper to solve our mathematical problems. But right now, we have customized software for them. We have calculators for them where you just need to theoretically know the formula and apply within your regular job. You know which numbers to put where, and the machine or the system will calculate it for you. The basics, once you know the basics of computers, how to handle them, you have customized software. You need not go at 10 places where you do not know and try and pick up things on that. Whenever you go to an organization, every organization has their own system and own software, and they do give you a training on how to handle the system. So the scope here is not very broad that you need to learn new technologies. The technologies will be incorporated within the system within your organization, and you will be provided for the training. You just need to know the basics of how to use it, how to apply your theoretics into your day-to-day life.
Oh, okay. A continuous question to this I have got in the chat box. Someone is asking, I think it's Debashish. Okay, thanks Debashish for asking this question. That you mentioned that in the skills there is data analytics skills required in supply chain as a supply chain professional. So, do you recommend doing a skill-based certification before getting into supply chain or doing a supply chain certification?
So data analytics, see the analytics basically the your mindset should be an analytical mindset, and the approach for you to solve the problem should be a data driven problem. I would obviously upskilling is always good for an individual. The more we upskill, the more we gather the knowledge, it is better for us. But there is no mandatory thing that you have to do a data analytics skill before you get into a supply chain. Once you do your supply chain degree, then you feel the need that within the sector or the service industry where you are working, they are working with a lot of data. So I'll just give an example. I used to work for Kantar, or that was previously known as Indian Market Research Bureau. So it used to have commercial market research. Now market research is an entire data driven industry. The data split everything here. So for that point, I did my data analytics because here the requirement of data is the most. But now if I'm into a product based industry, okay, I already have the data coming in from the various departments, so I do not have much analysis to do in my part. So data analytics skill will of course help you, which will be good, but it depends on the amount, on the sector or industry you are working, and how much data analysis do you need to do.
Yes, I do support this. And to add on upon this, that being into the counseling for this many years, what we understand is that if you're going ahead with a supply chain career, a supply chain certification is required for you. But there are many skills required to be a supply chain professional. And you don't need to learn each and every skill before you become a supply chain professional. What I would recommend personally is that after taking up a supply chain certification, joining a career, working in the industry, you would find some specific requirements of industry, and upskilling with this certification or this skills after that would help you grow your career more, is as a supply chain professional,
Absolutely.
because that will give you some specifics in the skills. Okay, sir, one more question which I have is that suppose for someone who is coming from the accounting and finance background, or from the science background, as I have got in the chats, but he is looking forward to grow his career in supply chain because it is in global demand now. So, how would you recommend them, starting a career in supply chain?
So for them, for the people who already have a commerce background or a science background or have some graduation degrees there is absolutely no problem. There is nothing here that you are coming from a humanities background or science background or a financial background. You can join supply chain. So again, from my personal experience, because I've been teaching in various colleges throughout this time, so there in these colleges people from different backgrounds used to come, and everyone would possess their individual skill set. So now, to give an example, if a finance person is coming to the supply chain network, he has a very sound uh, financial analysis thing within him. He would know how to look at the bills. He could see that, okay, this is the supply chain network I need to design. This is the things I want to incorporate, but is it within my cost or not? That is the thing I was saying. A right place, right time, right cost. He would be more focused on that cost part, which is also very essential. See, in today's world, whatever we do or we decide, we cannot do it totally because there is a cost factor always included, be it in our professional lives, be it in our personal lives. Okay, for a person who is coming from the science or the computers background, that person might have a much more scientific approach within him, which can help him into the production processes or the storage processes. How do we store, in what condition, what temperature? Okay, so all these different streams have their own individual skill sets, and I would obviously say that all these skill sets will help you grow individually in a better way, because here we are teaching you the supply chain skill sets, and now you are already coming to me with a different skill set like a financial skill set or a scientific skill set. So combining of both these will obviously give you always a better form.
Right, so right. That's great to know. Okay, there are three certifications which was shown as global certifications. Among that, CSCP was there, Certified Supply Chain Professional, Certified Logistics Professional, and one was Certified Product and Inventory Management, if I'm not wrong. So,
Yes.
what would you recommend, sir, as a newcomer when someone is transitioning his career as a supply chain professional, which certification he should go with?
So, as a newcomer or in a broader way, I would always suggest the CSCP course, because it is going to give you an overview of each and every functionalities within the supply chain network. And once you are within the supply chain job, say you have worked for a quite number of years, and within the supply chain network, you are only focusing into logistics, then you can go for the CLTD course, or you are only focusing in the production side or the forecasting side, demand management side, then you can go for the CPIM course like that. So CPIM and CLTD are more specialized course, and CSCP is the more broader and basic course which covers everything.
Yes, right, right, sir. So that means the choosing of the certification, it should be like this, that first you take into get into the industry of supply chain through the CSCP certification. And if you are already working in the supply chain industry and you are into any specific job role of inventory management or production management or say logistics management or warehouse management, you are into the specific industry at this current point of time, then you can choose a specific certification accordingly. Or else, if you are joining this as a career, new career, if you're transitioning into a supply chain to the supply chain industry, being a supply chain professional, getting a supply chain certification on an overall, and then according to your career needs and the industry needs in which industry you are working in, you can upskill yourself and you can get a better certification on a specific certifications, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So just a small example I would give you. Say I have done my CSCP course, I get into a supply chain industry. Initially, I am just a supply chain executive or a assistant, a junior executive. Now I am working for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. There are various departments like a procurement department, a forecasting department, a demand production department, logistics department. Now say within this, so everyone has their own roles and own forms of working, right? So now say I like the logistic departments more. I want to grow my career specifically into logistics, where I can be a global logistics manager, leader, like that. So I need to know more about logistics, its ways or its new theories, how we can go for a better trend. Then the perfect degree for me should be the logistics degree, because within the supply chain network I am choosing to grow my career only within the logistics frame of the supply chain network. So this is how you should decide. First go, personally I would say, first go for the CSCP degree, attain the knowledge of everything, start working. When you start working you will feel that I'm comfortable with A, not comfortable with B, like that. After you grow and you have a specific head on direction that I am supposed to head on to this direction only, then you apply for a better skill set degree.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for all the insights. Hope that will help the professionals and the students who are coming to us to choose the right certification. So, participants, before logging off, there are some contact information on the screen via which you can contact our Indian or the Dubai authorities or the consultants. They will get back to you with all the details of the certifications as well as the right career path for you. Finally, thank you, Anirban sir, for giving us this wonderful insights and guiding our students to do a take a right career in supply chain. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, participants, for attending this webinar and making it a successful webinar. Hope to see you all in in the batch.